What's up, people? Aaron Young here today, and I'm here to do a video, pretty much how to. And today I'm going to talk about tube baits. And I know you guys already have a rig and tube video, but today I'm going to get into more specifics. So pretty much I'm going to show you my style of the tubes that I fish, the different ones I use for flipping, or if I want to imitate a crawl with my tube baits. But I'm going to show you my colors, and I'm going to show you how to rig something differently than I used to. But here it goes. Alright, people. Well, what I have here, the only tubes I really fish to imitate a crawl really are coffee tubes and yum tubes. Alright, these right here, this is a Damiki Hydra. This is one of the best flipping baits right now on the market. It's incredibly soft, and it's kind of like a tube, but it's not a hollow body, so it's basically for flipping. And it's got these little balls at the end that make they got like air bubbles in it that make these tentacles go crazy. And this is probably a bait a lot of you are familiar with. This is just Gary Yamamoto Fat Ika, and this is very similar to the Hydra, which I would prefer the Hydra because of the more tentacles, or whatever you guys want to call them, the skirts. But the Ika's a great bait too for flipping. Those are basically just for flipping. And with these baits, you want to use a peg weight, or you want to use just a bullet weight with a stopper 2 to 3 inches up your line, most likely. These are the tubes I would use to imitate a crawl right here. This is just a 3-inch watermelon yum tube. That's a 3.5-inch just white yum tube. This is a this is a coffee tube from Strike King, and that's a blue with or black with blue flake, and then it's got red in the legs. My most productive tube bait has been this right here, and this is what I made my Bassin with Young episode 1 video about. And this is the Vibra King tube from Yum, and it's a 4 1/4 inch. And this actually doesn't have a hollow body either, but these rings that you see here give it vibrations when you move it through the water. And then this is just a 4 1/4 inch pumpkin tube. So those are the tubes that I use for flipping or to imitate a crawl. So let's move on to the next part. Alright guys, like I said, tubes are primarily used for two things: for flipping and pitching, or to imitate a crawl. Now, you pretty much base how you want to fish it by what you're comfortable with. A lot of the pros say that for tube fishing, that you want to do it on spinning gear, but I use a bait caster, but that just depends on what you're comfortable with, like I said. And I want to talk about where you want to fish tubes primarily, and how you want to rig it to where you're fishing it. Okay, so tubes, in my Bassin episode, what I was doing is I was taking this, and I Texas rigged it just with a bullet weight, the lead bullet weight, and I was throwing it primarily into beds, but mostly into like a sand bunker in the middle of the big pond that I have. And I was dragging it up onto that sand bar thing, and the bass were just picking it off. Because how you want to fish a tube to imitate a crawl is like this. Alright guys, like I was saying, when you're trying to imitate a crawl with a tube, you want to take your pole and you want to move it up and all the way up from a 9 o'clock position to a 12 o'clock. Then reel in your slack and do the exact same thing over again. Because what that does is it keeps your bait close to the ground like a crawfish would be, and that gives you the best results. So like I said, do that, you'll catch more fish. And but I also want to talk about the style of rigging. And it depends on, again, what you're comfortable with, but if you're fishing around rocks or sand and you know that there's not vegetation there, one of the best ways to fish it would probably be with a tube jig head. Just one like this. Okay? So what you would do is take that bait and stick the tube head up to the tube and feed it up to the top. Just gotta work it up there. Until your the eye of the hook gets to about right there. Okay. Then you just want to push that eye of the hook right out through the bait, like so. And you have perfect little setup there. Just drag the crawl along, and in fact, since this weight is at the top, your bait will stand up, and if you want to see what I just demonstrated, go check out my Bassing with Young episode 1 video, and I'll show you how it's done. See you guys, thanks, I really appreciate it. Bye. And the skirt will be fluttering, so it'll put a good action in there for you. So that's one way, but like I said, it depends on how, or whichever way you feel comfortable best. So that might wrap it up today for the video, but take consideration of my tips and get back to me if how you like them, if they did anything. Oh, one other thing. I primarily fish tubes with like 14-pound fluorocarbon, and I think you'd want to use fluorocarbon most of the time because your bait's going to be up against the bottom, and you don't want, and if it's rock or sand mostly, you don't want your line being seen by those fish. So fluorocarbon is the most invisible line you can get. And I mean, sand and rocks would be the best places to fish tubes, but I mean, if you are experienced and you find some places with scattered vegetation, a tube is a great bait to drag through the bottom of that, through tall grass, Kissimmee grass, and stuff like that. And for flipping, I mean, any vegetation you can flip tubes in, like the Hydra or the Fat Ika from Gary Yamamoto. But let me know if you guys try this stuff out, and get back to me. I appreciate you guys watching my channel, and just keep at it, keep fishing, you guys. You know, all right, see you later.